What's up, gang? So, last night I made a video and I wasn't really feeling it. And my wife's grocery shopping and she told me she didn't want me to make a video tonight, so we're gonna make it right now. And I know this is something that everybody has been talking about, the Lil Durk case, and it's something that is basically old news. He's basically fried. Basically Kentucky fried fucked. His co-defendants are getting out on bond and, sending out their location. But let's talk about the timeline, you guys, because that's what I want to talk about. I want to give my input. I'm a long-term Durk fan. I've been a fan since You Gotta Traumatize or, the Bang Bros. All those are classics. All of Signed to the Streets 2 is a fucking fire album. I don't care who you are. If you was around back then, you was banging that shit. But Lil Durk Banks is facing murder for hire charges in connection with a 2022 retaliation plot allegedly tied to the 2020 killing of his close associate, none other than Mr. King Von. And he has pleaded not guilty, and he remains in federal custody in Los Angeles with multiple bail requests, including a $4.5 million proposal that was denied. Now let's talk about some background context here. November 6, 2020, King Von, a.k.a. Devon Bennett, an OTF affiliate, very, very close friend of Lil Durk, is killed in a shooting outside of a hookah lounge in Atlanta following an altercation involving Quando Rondo's entourage. And when you really look at that case and really think about it, there's a lot of aspects that play into it. But at the end of the day, you kill mine, I'm gonna kill yours. That's the world we live in. And I don't know what he was thinking when they did the autopsy. They found Molly in his system and he was high. And I don't know how you'd expect not a gunfight to pop off. You gotta accept what comes with it when you put your hands on somebody. And we all knows that. And, Von, he was about that life. But, the shooting was, involved Quando Rondo's entourage. Lil Tim is apparently who got the shot off. An associate of Quando Rondo was, initially linked, but charges were dropped basically because of self-defense. And this event is central to the alleged motive in Durk's case. August 19th, 2022, a shooting at a gas station near the Beverly Center in Los Angeles. They target Quando Rondo, but he is unharmed in this. But his cousin, Savia Lul Pab Robinson, is killed, and prosecutors allege that this was a murder for hire plot orchestrated by Durk. And, shout out to Lil Pab's family. I pray for them. They still lost someone, and that's sad, but this is all a product of this rap beef. We've seen it time and time again, story after story. So they say the plot was orchestrated by Durk and other OTF members as revenge for King Von's death. But key developments in the case, one in October 2024, when Lil Durk was arrested near Miami International Airport in Florida while reportedly attempting to board international flights. And that doesn't look good, guys. A federal complaint charges him with conspiracy to commit murder for hire, as well as 5 other co-defendants. OTF affiliates are also charged in connection with the 2022 LA shooting. November 8th, 2024, a superseding indictment adds more charges against Durk, including the use of interstate facilities in a murder for hire plot resulting in death, as well as firearms charges involving a machine gun. So he is arraigned in Los Angeles and pleads not guilty. In 2025, Durk's team files motions to dismiss the case, and prosecutors seek to use lyrics, music videos, as well as related imagery as evidence of motive as well as intent. There are also reports of an Apple Watch incident while in custody, raising a lot of concerns about potential witness tampering. That Durk opposes delays and pushes for a speedy trial late 2025, early 2026. The trial date is repeatedly postponed Due to the case's complexity, over 30,000 pages of evidence, digital files, surveillance. So dates have shifted from initial plans, was supposed to be January, October 2025 to January 2026, then April, now August. And co-defendants often request more time. Durk's side has objected to some delays in the status. As of late May 2026, the trial is scheduled for August 25th, 2026, or around August 20th, 2025, depending on exact reports in LA's Los Angeles federal court. A judge recently denied co-defendants' motion to sever their cases. High-profile attorney Brian Steele, who represented Young Thug, has joined the defense. Newest installments, 2026 updates, the prosecutors have notified that defense attorneys are considering supplemental and additional charges to be filed and reviewed around June 3rd, 2026. So we'll see what happens there. These may involve older incidents such as a 2019 shooting in Atlanta and a 2022 murder of Stephen Mack in Chicago, potentially expanding the case and causing further delays. But Durk remains in custody and motions for bond continue to be denied. The case involves multiple co-defendants, extensive discovery, and allegations of a broader conspiracy. This is a high-profile case, guys. Federal case with significant evidence, volume, which explains, the repeated delays. The outcomes remain uncertain, pending trial. But for the absolute latest, check it here at Feb by Fire. We're going to be keeping up with the developments, especially around June 3rd, to see what happens. And this could shift the timeline again. And, it's not looking good for him, guys. And, it just makes me think, his song with Morgan Wallen, that song alone, he's got hits that are going to keep him rich forever. But unfortunately, he might not be able to buy his way out of this one. As always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Unfortunately, I start my work week. Everybody, keep me in your prayers. God keeps blessing me. My wife just got a new job. As always, love you. If you're interested in being a guest or having me as a guest, hit that email in the description. Don't be scared.